Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So I'm a little bit late. Let's do a couple of things. I got to do a sound check and a screen share check. So let's do that first. Number one, you guys hearing me on the sound? Yes? Okay, how's the screen? You guys seeing the screen? Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in. Just tell me if you guys, this is quiet, quiet. Sorry, trying to get myself organized. I'm back in Jersey. I was in the city yesterday. So how's the visuals on the screen? You guys seeing this, the visuals okay? Because this is different computer setup, high resolution. So it might be a little small. I just want to know. So I mean, you seeing the full screen, it's okay, right? Miguel, it's all good, right? Okay. Let me see what we got here. Chat. Where are you guys in my, where's my chat box? Oh, here it is. Okay, hey, Janet, Tony, everybody's good? Okay. All right. Bottom line is not clear. It's not clear. Like, are you guys seeing the full screen? But not chime in with your mics, guys, because I need to just kind of understand, because I'm trying, because this is at 100%, but it's fine for you, Karen. Miguel, you're not seeing the full screen? Huh. I'm at full res. Anybody else not seeing the full screen? Or is it just Miguel? Is everybody seeing the full screen? You seeing the bottom? You seeing New York time on the bottom here? All good? Steve? Everybody's saying good, Miguel. Maybe it's, huh. Miguel, it sounds like something on your end. I'm sorry, man. Just maybe you want to log in, log out. Try to log back in. See if you get a better screen. Because it sounds like everybody else is getting a good view. Okay, right, Gash. Everybody seems to be getting a good view. So I'm going to leave it as is. Let's talk. So we should have a trade in flow here. I'm 36. It kind of already, the trade already happened, so I don't really want to press it. But I was going to tell you that when you're looking at the NQ today, we actually we had a sell buy sell structure, a sandwich structure, which was short around the around the 39s, 40s here. They came back down to a plus 10, or you could have waited and waited for a strong that is a buy sell confirm. Reason why I actually loved both of these setups, I took this one a little bit early. This is around 8:30, right after the unemployment data, is because what is this? This is yesterday's low, right? And so this is the kind of thing that Linda really opened up my eyes to. When we get our confident sell or buy signals, and there's scope, there is room to run towards the low or the high. So in other words, if we get the buy signals and there's room to run from the highs or a room to run towards the lows, that's a really, really high caliber setup, because they like to run it towards and retest it. They've already tested the lows over here, right? And they like to retest them a little bit. Now, what happens kind of the other way is, let's say they break the lows, right? So they break the lows, and then you get a sell signal also. That's an excellent structure as well. So moving towards yesterday's highs and lows, or once we clear them and a move above them or a move below them, is excellent continuation runs. They're great orientation runs. I mean, I'm tempted to get short here, but like as I said, the setup has already effectively actualized itself. It already happened here, so we would just be forcing the move. this could, it's not a horrible idea to want to see if we can press it. Maybe we'll do it. Let me take the, maybe we'll press it here. Let's see if we can press it here, because they want to run it towards the lows again. So, market had a big, overnight, we had a big test of the 600 level and a complete rejection of it. I'll show you, like, look at the spikes. This was the European Open, and it was kind of like a gimme moment. So here, we have a trend buy. This is what I mean about running towards the highs and towards the lows. So we have a sell buy. We don't really have a legitimate signal. So you really couldn't have taken our setup in the way that it was, in the way it's given right now. But if you sort of said, what, maybe they're going to run the round numbers, and I have a trend buy signal, I'm willing to give it a shot. You could have taken it. But here's where it gets interesting. Where it gets interesting, and where we have a confluence of our signal and her analysis, is here's yesterday's high. They break it, and then they just complete flame out right above the 600. Just 1 minute, tap the stops, and then come right back. And then once they break once they take the price in below yesterday's high, right? Then we get our trend signal right over here. Now this is actually a setup, because we have a sell, buy, sell. We have a clean sandwich setup at 5 in the morning, and from here, it was a complete collapse. It was an easy trade. So my point is that when we are patient enough to have a confluence of our legitimate setup signals within the grander price development of price action relative to where the highs and the lows are, we really have a lot of confidence as to how they want to run the show. They try to take it above yesterday's high. They couldn't, and the natural move was obviously a full unwind. And then actually they ran it really to yesterday's lows before they finally stabilized it. So it was a very interesting story, very interesting price narrative in the NAS. I'm fooling around with this. Let me find you. I'm fooling around with the with the short here. I can't say I love it, but it came in like about 3 points my way. I'm trying to make 5 points out of here. As I said, this is not a standard setup. I'm just scalping in front of it, trying to stay within the general thesis of what we have here, which is a downtrend, two sell signals. They already TP'd, so this is kind of a second wave. And I'm kind of wondering, we're going to have a second wave to test the lows. And then, of course, if they do test the lows and then break them, then it's a whole new narrative, because then we have a down day in the Nasdaq. That's by no means a given, but the point is that this allows us to read the charts and read the daily narrative in a much clearer way, much more objective way. We can see what the price action is telling us instead of trying to figure out what we think the price action should be doing. So I think I'm not gonna let's not putz around here. We'll wait for good setups. I'll take my one loss here. I've actually been very disciplined today, and this is like my first undisciplined trade. So let's leave it alone. Here, let me make it easy here. I'm gonna blow this one out. Keep you guys over here. And okay, oh, everybody likes the, okay, so yeah, the res here is, okay, good. So the res here is very sharp. I'm glad you guys like the res. Okay, so that's NAS. Now the story in the S&P and Dow is considerably different. NAS is much weaker than the S&P to Dow. So here, this is the high from yesterday in the S&P. S&P traded, considerably well above the highs, most of the time. And here we're just sort of like, in no man's land. Where are we? Sorry, let me get this out here. So we actually have buy, sell, buy. We have a sandwich setup, right? Right near the highs. It's pretty much holding the highs. You could have taken this setup here, 93 to 95, and that was an okay trade at around 7 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get a chance to trade it, so I didn't do much. But the bias, I did trade my for the other account, the Dow, because the Dow was a very clean clean trade as well. So the Dow didn't even, it just ran below the highs, yesterday's high, and then it came right back up. Dow is sort of the strongest trade there. And as you can see here, let me get big because this is super finely resigned. So we have here, so if you look at this on a very long-term basis, trend, so buy, sell, buy. So a very clean sandwich setup against a price action that levitates at the time of the buy setup, levitates above the day's high. So bias is strong. Market likes equities at that point, or Dow equities. And coming in over here, you were basically 67. You're looking for 20, so it was 87. It was easy, easy 20 points. Took about 10-15 minutes to resolve. It was a nice clean trade. Now we're still in the uptrend. We have a buy sell. We have to see what time we got here. Oh, it's only 9:12. We got about 15-20 minutes before the market opens up in terms of resolution, and so on and so forth. So we'll have to see how that's going. So right now we don't have any setups in equities. It's a really good time for us to take a look at FX, because we're gonna use the same analysis and methodology in FX, where it was really effective for me as well. Let me show you what we did on FX. By the way, do you guys like the fact that I went 3 wide this way? Like I like them horizontally wide, because I think it's easier to see the price action this way than let me just arrange all of this. It's easier to see the price action this way than it is to than it was the other way around, right? You guys like that much better, right? Tell me you do. So so that's equities. Let's go to FX. Let me show you what's going on in FX. So here's FX. Here's where FX gets interesting. I didn't have any intelligent ideas in Euro, but here's where see, FX is much easier to deal with because we don't have New York open, New York close. We just have a global open, global close. So it's easy to put the highs and the lows. And what do you see here? What do you see here? What you see here is the lows from yesterday, right? Cable breaks the lows from yesterday right here at around was it 398, right? 4 o'clock in the morning, right? 4 o'clock in the morning. And there's a couple of ways you could have traded this. I actually traded this in a run through the lows, but you could have traded in a run post the lows. Either way, it really would have worked. So you're starting out. I think it was around 3:30 in the morning. I started 3:30 in the morning is when I started looking at the charts. First of all, what you see is that cable is relatively weak and kind of hanging near the lows of the day, near the lows of yesterday. So that's already tells you, okay, market is not loving cable so far. It hasn't really lifted it anywhere through the lows. So you get a sell, buy, right? Nothing much going on here. And then you get a sell, right? So you have a sell, buy, sell, which is our standard sandwich setup. And you get that with the price really testing yesterday's lows, right? This was 4 o'clock. I think this was another thing that I really liked. There was an incredibly sharp reversal from 38.34 in less than 5 minutes, a big move of like 35 points, that's a lot of points in cable in 5 minutes. It really dumped. I think it was on Andy Haldane was talking, and he was basically saying that they don't see any near-term possibility to hike rates. So the market took that as negative cable. Really, so we have like a knee-jerk reaction in the market. We have a test of the lows. We have a trend sell coming up. So I thought, okay, this is a pretty decent setup. So I got short here for 10.20, and that was an easy 10. But if you didn't get, if you were like, I want to see how they trade the lows, you could have waited. You could have said, okay, I want to see a confirmation. I want two sells in a row to get a strong, strong sell signal. So you get a this. You could have come in here at 78, and there was still enough juice on the trade all the way down to 65. So it's still another 10 points before we finally kind of stabilized. And now here's where it gets interesting. So I haven't traded this. But now we can, we broke above the lows, and now we have a strong buy on cable. So like we could actually, I mean, I'm a little bit late here. It was 10. I think it actually would have already made the 20. I was a little bit late. So we could try this again, because let's just assume that cable kind of rebuilt the lows, and maybe it's going to make another run. I don't have a philosophical disagreement here with, if you guys want to go 10, 38.10 long here with with 20 stop, 10 target. So let's just play this, because we don't have anything else right now. We'll do it virtually, because I can't do it on my on this particular platform. So we'll just do it virtually. We'll see if this trade works. But the idea here is, we've tested the lows, we came back up, we have a double buy signal. Let's run with it. We're long 10s. Let's see if we can make 20 out of this thing the other way. It just makes it, you really, really see the market in such a clean, crisp fashion when you combine our indicator with Linda's auction theory and intraday analysis. Trust me, it's not like it's going to work all the time, but what it does is it works much more than it doesn't. It really creates a very, very clear vision for you as to what is the most intelligent trade at that particular time in this particular market, given all the context that the price exists in. That's what it is. It's kind of really creates the context for us on a real interesting basis. And then there's this one other trade which I was looking at also. So we have the yen, right? It didn't quite get me down, I think. Let me see. I do have actually this one running on my, yeah, it didn't quite hit my target, because this is the yen. I probably should have gotten a shorter target, but it was still a good idea. So let me show you the yen story. So the yen story here, yen is obviously, at like multi-year highs. It's a strong buy, but even in strong buys, you're going to get retraces, right? So let me see. Maybe it wasn't on this chart. I'm sorry, guys. Hang on. Let me see if I have it here. Maybe it was here. I'm going to remark it if I didn't remark it, but I thought I marked it on these trades. Unfortunately, I have to. It doesn't. Oh yeah, here it is. That's it. Okay. So you see this. This is the day's high. This is yesterday's high. Remember, when I say day's high, I always mean yesterday's high. So this is yesterday's high, right? And basically, we had relatively hot unemployment data, but nothing, nothing really out of whack for U.S. fundamental news that was going to really move stuff around. And we've had a big run. So if you are going to take a contra trend trade, right? For some a little bit of mean reversion relief, this would be the trade to take, because you have a sell buy sell. So we have a sandwich sell like right around here in the 40s, and we have about 30 points to run towards the day's high, right? Now overall, this is still probably not a great trade, and actually I take it back. Now if we follow our rules, which we very much should, this whole short thesis, which was working for like about 6 or 7 points, and I should have just taken my 6 or 7 points, stops, right? Stops. And now we have a trend buy signal. So it already means that sort of my thesis for this trade kind of been negated. So I'm actually going to close it out. I'm actually, oh, look at this. I'm still positive on this thing. I'm going to close this out for a tiny little profit, because it's dipping in. And it may come back down, but I'm not going to trade it until I have a trend sell signal. Because what it's looking to me like right now is that this may have been the only correction that happened. I can't emphasize enough for you, having traded this for quite a long time and constantly doubting the thesis and constantly having it confirmed correctly, that the proper way to read the setup is with signals. And I hope you guys can see this. This should be a little bit bigger. The proper way is to read the signals, right? Let me, Why is this? To read the signals, but when the signals themselves, like in other words, the stop may not happen. It may be very tight range, but when the trend signal changes opposite your thesis, you respect that that change. Even if you're going to get whipped out, it's very much worth it to just take a tiny little loss because your overall thesis has changed. The market has changed the opinion of where it wants to go for the time being. And more times than not, this is actually going to be the right signal. As a matter of fact, if this, what right now, what you thought was going to happen, or what I thought was going to happen, is that we were going to have a corrective move towards, towards yesterday's highs. And what the market has done is done a very, very shallow retrace, and the buyers reappear. And if that's the case, then we want to be on the side of the buyers. Does that make sense to everybody when you're kind of analyzing this on a very granular level? Your thoughts must be completely confirmed by the indicators and the price action. And if they're not confirmed by the indicators, you need to trust the indicators because they are much more intelligent in the global scheme of things than your assessment of the situation in this just one example. You just think you're correct in this one case example, and it'll be fascinating to see because I'm actually curious to see if this turns into a second trend buy, or if this kind of runs into the 50s. It's just going to completely confirm to me that getting out of this trade was the absolutely right thing to do. Okay, so I got 2 yens. I want to run the cable on this channel. Okay, so we're still theoretically long here. I don't know if you guys are long with me at 10s. It ran up around 14 and kind of died out a little bit. We'll see if cable can run another 20. The true signal was really from over here, and it already TP'd. So we're now just trying to run the second wave of this thing. Unfortunately, the price we pay for being for just doing 1 hour is that we're not always going to catch the signals at the right time. And if you're not going to catch the signal at the right time, the general rule of thumb is to pass up on it, unless you want to do sort of small size for curiosity's sake. Because anytime it's even slightly off strategy, the risk is going to be against you more than it will be for you. Like, in other words, it'll may still be a positive risk reward, but not as positive as when everything lines up perfectly. But still, I'm willing to give this a shot a little bit. Let's see how this plays out. Let's go back to equities and let's see what's going on in the equity land. Equity land has. Equity land has. I'm talking, and I should have been long here. Let's get long ES. It's not bad. We're like only about half a point behind. So let's just make this 1.5 points target, 4-point stop. It should be, we should have been like 1.5 points behind on this thing. But the signal was at around, if we look at the signal, it was 94.75, and we came in around 95.25. So we're still looking, to the upside. And this is obviously, we're above yesterday's highs. We have a buy sell buy signal, a sandwich signal. So we're just trying to see if if the market wants to run, and we certainly have a same story in the Dow, which has been even stronger. Where was this? This is 75. So we're 10 points behind in the Dow. So it's hard to chase the Dow now up. So we'll just do one trade. We should have been in both the S&P and the Dow. It's the perils of the job that if I'm focusing on one market, I'm gonna miss some of the signals in the other market. But that's not the point. The point is for you guys to absorb the process. Like I said, once you absorb the process, it really becomes natural. It's like a second hand in being able to read the chart, read the price action, read where the market is most likely to go. That's really all we're trying to do. Our whole raison d'etre is to figure out where the market is most likely to go, and trade accordingly. We have 4 minutes to the open. Let's see how let's see if they want to rock the open to the upside. That should be interesting. I think I'm actually, I'm going to tighten up my target to just one, only because it's the open, and it's gonna, if they're gonna rock it, they're gonna rock it. If they don't, we'll eat it. But it's fine either way. We'll have at least another good half hour. By the way, I don't know if you guys traded after I left you at 10 o'clock, but there were just a couple of perfect setups, right? Like as soon as I left the Nasdaq was a torture yesterday, but both Dow and the S&P were golden. And that was another really great takeaway, is that if one of the instruments is just a chop instrument, the single best thing to do is just to go look for the other instruments that are much more trend. Like, you're not in the business of forcing this one instrument to work for you. You're in the business of looking for the instrument that's going to work best with the overall structure that you have going. So let's see where we go. What do we got? We got 3 minutes. Let's put up the clock here. Let's see what's going on over here. Going to take a punt on the Dow as well, just to because the Dow is the relative strength trade right now, and see if going into the open it's gonna maintain its relative strength. We have 90 seconds for the open. Where's it Dow? You know what? Okay, I'm going to take 600 Dow. This just leaves me with one. It's the same trade, but because it's the open, I don't want to expose myself to two trades the same way. It's fine. We took a little bit off this thing. Once the open rotates, and I have a suspicion that they're gonna rip it up and then take it back down, and then we get a true signal. That's one of the reasons why I just okay, we'll take one profit and then let this one float. And see if it can float. What's our time here? We got 20 seconds to the open. Let's see how it opens up. Okay, we're at open rotation. Nah, I'm out of here. Okay, get out. They're gonna do it. They're gonna play the games on the open. I thought they'd pop it, but that's fine. I just blew out of it real quickly for just a tiny little loss. We'll regroup. Oh, look at that. And we'll regroup. It's fine. The open fake out. I got faked out. If you guys held, you obviously all made money. I blew out of it. Damn. Killing me now. They played a game. They played the game with us. They played the game with us. Anybody hold? Did anybody hold that trade? Anybody hold the Dow? You did, Miguel? Good for you. Good for you, Miguel. What's going on with the NAS? Let's move this down. Let's see what the NAS is doing. The NAS is very nasty. Oh, I think I want to sell the NAS. Where's my NAS? Let's sell the NAS. See if I can make the 5 points on the NAS. What am I, 3 seconds? Ah, and they reversed it. Nope. No, I'm getting killed on the reversal on the NAS here. That was a bad impulsive trade on my part. Sorry about that, guys, because they're doing the usual. Let's run the NAS up, Dow down. Um, wow. Okay. Okay. I'm totally wrong on this. We're gonna have to reverse. I am wrong on this. We will reverse and actually let's get long. All right, I got some of that back. I was clearly wrong here. It looks like they played the game with us on the opening rotation. I should never. I always always need to keep me back from making the first 5 minute trade. Let the first 5 minutes happen, and then let's see what happens. So um, let's see what's going on here in the first 5 minutes. So we're still near yesterday's lows. They kind of bounced it off. The really interesting story will be here is if they start taking it back down and break the lows, because I think that's going to be the true story of the day here. Um, this seems like just the first 5 minute squeeze that they took out. Miguel got 6 on the Dow. Good for you. Um, wow, look at that pop. Nice. Okay, if this falls, I'm again not a trade, but if this flames out, I got to get short this thing because this looks really weak to me. Okay, it's flaming out. I'm getting short. I got short this thing. Let's see if I'm right. So close. Dow is really reversing off of yesterday's high, giving up yesterday's high, now turning into a pretty strong sell mode. So we've got to watch that very carefully. This is not doing anything for me right now. I was right, but I just didn't get my execution. I just missed the TP here for a quick 5 scalp, and now this is really going to be a battle. I'm really basically just holding against this reversal top to see if the sellers still control the NQ, but I'm nowhere near as confident as I wasn't just 2 minutes ago in this trade, because I don't have a signal on it. I was just instinctively trading against this big reversal. As a matter of fact, I think I'm just gonna close this now. It's not worth it. All right, I'll hold. If this actually breaks the highs, I'll reverse back the other way, just on momentum basis. But I didn't have a signal. I'm just wildly trading off of price action, and paying the price today a little bit. All right, finally, Jesus. Okay, so not a great trade, not very proud of it, but at least I got what I've done. Oh, I have a sell signal in the Dow. Let's do that. That's a legitimate trade. Let's sell that. Oops. So we're gonna try and trade this like with a 2040. Let's see if this works, because this is at least a legitimate trade in so many different ways. I'm just gonna leave this on here and let's just deconstruct the chart so we can understand what's going on here, why this is an interesting trade. So this is yesterday's high. We bounced. We actually came back, tested. We came back. We broke underneath yesterday's high after the opening round rotation. We have a sell, buy, sell, a classic sandwich signal over here. So we have a lot of reasons to feel genuinely confident that the trade, may work our way. Now, where is the trade actually? I haven't even looked. Oh, it got done. Never mind. Wow. While I was explaining the trade, that was a plus 20 trade. Okay, so that was, always great to have the trade done while you're trying to deconstruct it. But I hope you guys understood it. It's as much, it's as much a replay of slow motion in this market as it is to understand why I'm doing the trades. Because if I took the time to explain it before I did the trade would have been done like it was now. So, but you get the idea of why that was a genuinely quality trade versus my little NQ bullshit trade. And you guys gotta just tell me to stop. I cannot. I really, I just want to do a lot of trades with you guys every time we're together. But it's really like what happens is if I make a stupid trade, I'm really actually not focusing on the really great ones. Fortunately, I was able to catch this one on the right flow. Stop, please. Okay, you know what? No, I need you to, Karen. I need you to flash me the stop emoji. Do we have a stop emoji in Slack? So you need to just put that in Slack. If I am off menu, if I'm taking non setup trades, you got to put a stop sign for me. Okay, you'll be my traffic cop. All you guys in the all you guys who were watching this in the course, did you understand the reason for why I traded the way I did over there? Is there any questions? Tony, or was it Stephen was saying he'd rather wait for a buy from the Dow, which is fine. You could wait for a buy for the Dow, but if you were just going to say, "Oh, I'm going to buy the Dow here because I think it's going to bounce back," it would have worked this time. But I guarantee you, if you did 100 times, it wouldn't have worked. The whole point is not to do a trade that just looks right this moment, but to do a trade that's going to be right many moments forward. Sell, buy, sell. There's two reasons: sell, buy, sell, and a break below yesterday's high, which gave me lots of confidence that they kind of wanted to press it, underneath here. They wanted to run it. They're still, they're still testing. They basically this turns it down negative on a day-to-day mark basis right now. So how much lower can they press it right now is a bit open question, but at least that there was enough there to trigger lots of stops as everybody suddenly turned negative on a day-to-day basis. And then that was the reason. So you see me going short over here. It took less than a minute to resolve this, and there was like another 25-30 points to the downside on the trade. And I actually think so. This is another example. If you've been long here, maybe you're mildly positive now, but if this thing doesn't turn, it's going to go down 100 points against you. This is buying a Dow right now is the equivalent of buying a falling knife. You think you're smart, but you're only going to get cut most of the time. Trust me, I've done this a million times. So that was the reason. That's the reason was a confluence of two very legitimate reasons for why we have some confidence in the setup. All right, let's go back to see what else is going on over here. S&P is actually very bullish, well above yesterday's high. NAS is looking mildly bullish. And that's why my NAS short was really retarded. So we don't really have a trade in the NAS yet. The trade in the NAS actually would have been to the long side of them over here. I should have, I was actually a seller here, but I should have been a buyer here because you had a buy, sell, buy, and a bounce off of yesterday's lows. Now we have to give ourselves a little time. We got plenty of time. I'll hang with you guys today because we don't have a session tomorrow. I'm gonna have to cancel it because we have the trading battle. So maybe we'll hang till 10:30. We'll see if there's any more setups going on here. But if the NAS situation kind of turns, we get a negative cloud and then a positive cloud, you'll have a strong buy signal above yesterday's low support level. That gives you a lot of confidence that should be a good trade. But for now we got nothing. The one thing that definitely, what was this? Is a 920? Oh yeah, that was my trade, which I bailed out of a little bit early, the ES trade that actually worked. But now we have to wait and see how it's working out. But yeah, the S&P breaking to 4,300. That's a very, very significant level, right? Really, really, really big level. Really going in there. All right, do not follow me. I'm just doing this for fun. Damn it, I forgot it. It was just too late. I was trying to short the 4,300. This is just for fun. If it works, it's great. Basically, the round number is always going to attract a lot of stop running, and then selling that was always good for like a point. And there it is. Did I make a point? Oh no, I didn't make a point. No, I thought my buyback is too small. I'm gonna have to. Screw it. This wasn't the right trade. The trade should have been at 4,300 down to 4,900, just a quick scalp back. But because that's a round number, everybody's focused on it. Now they kind of bought it. They're going to probably press it, and now you really, really don't want to short this until you get to like maybe 05, 03, 05, because there's just lots of gunpowder there to want to push it a little higher. Let's actually watch it. It's actually kind of curious. This is not a trade of ours, but it's a round number trade that's sort of interesting, and it's obviously fresh all-time highs. Let's see how the market runs. Blah blah blah, so on and so forth. The big story today will be like they take it out, they bring it down, and then if they hold it above that. That's very bullish because that means the buyers are willing to hold the 4,300, not just test it. Gonna give it like 1 or 2 more minutes. If they can't push it beyond the fresh highs, like through 350, we'll give it another shot for a short, just for fun. All right, I'm gonna just short 99s for 98 stop. Let's see if we can do that again. Just having fun. This is really not a legitimate setup, but let's just see if I'm right that they kind of exhausted the moves here. Oh, they're breaking it out. I might stop over here like at like 2.5. My stop at 101.50. That's fine. This thing needs to break like the 25 right now. Oh, nope. They're not breaking it. There we go. There we go. Ah, screw it. I'm just flying. Yeah, I'm fooling around. It's not going. So there's no, it should have been a fast decline. The fact that they're kind of holding it down, part of it is just me being impatient, but part of it is just market not really cooperating with my thesis. So we'll let it be. If the profit taking was really going to come in, it would have come in the last couple of minutes. But they absorbed all the bids ahead of 98. So if it's going to crack, it'll crack without us. It's fine. I took like half a point on this stuff, and that's all I can do. And there you go. It's inevitable, right? The moment I give up on the trade always works. I don't know if any of you guys traded the S&P with me, but that always that always works. I mean, we're not we don't have any legitimate setups there anyway. So, and most of you guys don't even trade the S&P. This was just for fun. We're gonna focus on it down the NAS and just see what we can do over here. See if we have any real trades here coming up. So, closest idea that we may have developing is here's Dow above yesterday's high. We have a sell buy. We need to turn around back into the buy mode. So they've tested the buys. Really, the big question is is the market strong enough to now run towards fresh highs? And big answer is going to be this 4,300 S&P. If they can break it above and hold it, they're going to lift it down along with it, because by very nature, two of them are going to be very interrelated. So now we're going to be watching for a buy signal in a Dow. I'm sort of, like, if you want to front run this with me, where's my Dow? I'm going to try and front run this a little bit, just a little bit, and see if I can make, maybe just go for like 10 points on this. And then we'll see if we get a legitimate signal here. I almost got the 10 points and didn't quite make it. But let's just be a little patient with this thing. So you see, sometimes I'll cheat a little bit when I see the green segment developing. It's a sign to me that the uptrend has resumed, and sometimes I can get into the trade a little bit early. It will consolidate. It will sometimes slip against me a little bit, but generally it puts me at more or less the better price, if my thesis is true that this is going to be a resumption. They're gonna run the prices back up, and maybe even run the prices through the highs over here. And ideally, the super big highs would be the 3450s, right? The 34,500s, not 3450s. But let's see if this is going to play itself out a little bit. This is probably, regardless, probably going to give me a trend buy signal somewhere along this path, because it's already starting to go into a positive territory. I just front run the positive territory a little bit by anticipating the move, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I will get a great price. Sometimes I don't. That's 76. 76 is my target. Let's see if we can get 76 out of this thing. Okay, there we go. So another 10 in the Dow. So that makes it 30 in the Dow, and it actually goes for much more, which I thought it would. But this is a variant. The point being is that if I'm bullish, and I had lots of reasons to be bullish, but I know that the signal may be a few more candles coming, I'll front run the signal. I'll front run the signal and just see if I could get the price structure ahead of the price structure. Cheryl, you made 3 in the ES. Good for you. Karen, the stops on the S&P that we use is +2, -4. S&P is like 1/10 the Dow. The easiest way to think is just 1/10 the Dow. So if the Dow is 40/20, we use 4/2. Is that clear, Karen? Oh, I got questions here. I got questions in the chat room here. Okay, guys, hang on. Let me look at the. Let me look at all the questions. Oh my God, so many questions. Sorry, guys. I was just looking at the price action. I didn't see it. Let me. I see all your questions. I will answer them. Let's just hang tight for just 1 second. Let's see if we got anything else going on here, as far as the price action goes. But okay, I think we're pretty good. Let me just close down the trading station for just a little bit. Nice runs on the MES. The NAS is doing nothing. So okay, so just sort of like the next possible scenario for us is if the NAS turns positive and we have a trend buy, then we have a double trend buy against yesterday's low, meaning holding support, and possibly a nice run higher in the 10:30 hour. So we've got to watch this pretty carefully, see if that plays out. But for now, we don't have any trades. So I'm going to take some questions. Can you explain how and when you make use of the cloud? I'm always making use of the cloud. I mean, this is the sell cloud, the buy cloud. The way I look at it, honestly, is two ways. Like I said, sort of the easy way is when you see the buy cloud just for, whatever, the sell cloud or the buy cloud just forming, just starting to flare out, which is just moving averages. Then you can kind of front run the signal, right? So you see, like, for example, right now, the signal, the trend buy signal in the Dow is coming in right now, right? So we had already TP'd at this point. We can look at this academically and just see if this trend buy signal would have worked for us also. So the entry here would have been 66, right? So okay, so suppose we're long 66, target is 86, stop is going to be 26. Let's see if that would have worked out too, which is fine. So we'll leave that to the side. But the cloud, I'm always just basically, there's two ways I look at the cloud. One, the cloud will often, also tell you, like, if you really want to get cute about it, it gives you very clean, clear double bottoms support areas. Because if you see, two red clouds like this, that's a very clean looking double bottom. It gives you confidence that you maybe want to take that trade, right? Because what it does is it smooths out all this jagged price action into a nice, kind of an average smooth. So you can look at it mainly as a pattern trade, or as a early opening of trend trade. Those are the two ways I look at the cloud, right? Is it possible to get an explanation of these indicators? I have not been able to understand anything so far. I'm sitting like zero PI. Guide me. Please guide me. Is this your first day here? Tried to set up an account with ACAP and they said they could not because of the location of my residence. Yes, if you're a US customer, you can't set up an account with ACAP. We will have a separate US only deal for you guys coming up soon, but I'm sorry about that. That's just, blame the US government for that. I can't, US government doesn't allow US customers to open up an account with anybody. By the way, this, so this trend buy over here, just academically, didn't quite go to plus 20, but it went about 13 in our way. So it would have been at least 10 points also. So it's not like that the signal was false, but it was a weaker signal because obviously, I front run the signal, but it was the same general idea that you had a chance here for a strong directional move to the upside. So what is this? Blah, blah, blah. And everything you've been saying and doing. Would you please tell me what to do? Would you like to have MT4? So yeah, so if you're a US customer, as I said, we're going to have a special US customer offer for anybody coming up early next week. So, and I'll let you guys know in the room. But that's, as I said, that's just the fault of the CFTC. They don't allow any US customers to have any foreign accounts. Okay, so not anything I can do about it. So somebody's asking, like, what do you know? How do you deal with these indicators and everything else? These are TradingView. Who does it? Like, first of all, are you aware of TradingView? Do you know how to use TradingView? Like, if you don't know any of those things, it's really fundamental. You know that stuff. If you're that much sort of a novice, it's really, really important to understand that TradingView is the primary charting platform that everybody uses. We have proprietary custom indicators, Kathy's zip indicator and my trend finder indicator, that are made for this platform. We use those indicators to read the market every day in conjunction with everything else. And then we also have customized, as you can see, customized MT4, MT5 execution applets to execute our ideas. So we have a whole array of tools that everybody in the room uses to make these trades a profitable reality. And you need to have all those components, like a professional soldier, to be able to to work. So it's fine. Don't worry that you don't understand anything. This is training. We'll train you, but you need to kind of learn MT4, MT5s, and TradingView, and just get yourself familiar with those platforms. I'm actually one of my to-do lists. I think maybe over the July 4th weekend, I'll do this. Is to create a whole bunch of really tight little novice videos of like, hey, I'm new. What the hell do I do? That will tell you, here's TradingView, here's MT4, here's how these two things fit together, and here's how you make trades for all of it. Okay. But this is obviously my live chat room is not the place to do this. What do I miss here? Nothing. So this is still the trend buy from the Dow. NAS is still not giving me the buy signal, right? We're still the cloud is still red. We still don't have I don't have a second trend buy confirm. That's what I'm really looking for. If I want to get super cute, I'm gonna look at the price action and look for just like I did with the Dow, for the cloud to turn green for the averages cloud, the envelope to turn green, and then front run that trend buy signal. But so far I got nothing. I have no reason to pop up. So in the meantime, if I was sort of patient with my Dow trade off of a trend buy signal, I still wouldn't have had the full 20, but I definitely would have had a second 10. So in other words, this is still working, but as you can see, the profit taking retraces, the drawdowns are much sharper here, right? You're not getting like the full clean straight up view. There's lots of two-way traffic here, and that's exactly what I thought. Okay, so maybe excuse me, guys, sorry. I'm watching. The next thing I'm really watching is the turn in the NAS. Is the NAS going to give me that turn that I want? So let's put this over here. Sorry, let's watch this. Is this going to be? I really want. Okay, I'm going to front run the NAS here. All right, let's give it a shot. This is not my classic setup, but I'm front running this. Let's see if I'm right, that this is finally starting to turn positive, that this is kind of sold off, and maybe the NAS is going to give me that run back up. And we're only looking for what, 56? Let's see if we can get 56 out of this move. As we kind of stabilized above the day's lows. And maybe not. Sometimes sometimes it doesn't pay to be first of the class. But let's see. I mean, it's holding tight. Let's give it a shot. Not bad. I'm almost there. Almost there. Almost. God damn it. That was a half a point away. Come on, NASDAQ. Oh, that's tough. This is gonna be a brutal trade. It's just gonna like nick me and then come back out. All right, I'm going to not let this trade bother me. Yeah, I just missed that trade. That was like literally we had 4.5 points in the money. It didn't quite make it. And sometimes that happens. I mean, it was a gamble trade anyways, because there's no legitimate signal here. There's just no legitimate signal. And whatever the turn was just wasn't strong enough for us. And now it turns into a prayer trade. So we'll have to see if the market wants to kind of consolidate here. It's very, obviously NAS is always going to be a lot more volatile, a lot more choppy, a lot less liquid. But the true trade, if like we need a trend buy, and we're not getting it yet. Like, because that's exactly it. I was front running the trend buy, and I was a little too early on it. And now it just turns back up to negative trend. And now we're just I'm gonna probably eat this thing. Nah, I'm gonna eat this thing. I'm gonna get out. It's not working for me. I'm gonna wait for the trend buy. If it genuinely turns into a trend buy, then I'm gonna take it. This was a trade that should have worked, almost worked for me at 4.5, and now is obviously collapsing. So I'm clearly, it doesn't matter where it goes now. I'm not gonna let it pray. I'm not gonna hold on to it for much longer. So we'll let it go. We'll see if a genuine trade sets up. This was just my last attempt to try to force a move that just didn't happen. You notice, by the way, here's the theme, right? Anytime I have a genuine setup, the trade works beautifully. Anytime I'm just fucking around with front run trades and other stuff like that, it's always problematic. It's like a 50-50 bet. One is a 70-70-30 bet. The other one is always a 50-50 bet. So this is, let's see if this actually shapes itself up into an actual trend buy. A lot of choppiness. So you were asking me how I read my cloud. Look at it. See the red cloud? You see how beautiful double bottom is here, right? That's another way. I mean, again, I'm going to do a stupid thing. It's not my setup. But if you're going to read the cloud and you get a double bottom here, that's not a bad looking trade. So I'm going to watch for this candle to close. And if I can just, if it's got to close green. If it's not closing green, then I don't really have a double bottom. See, it's not. And this is the reason why you always wait for the candle to close. To kind of show you. Now I'm going to have to wait for the next candle. But if the next candle is, unless this wants to run to 48, so if the next candle is green, that's going to give you at least a small visual vote of confidence that the market is bottoming out here. Maybe you're ready for another run up, right? All right, I'm gonna. Oh, I chased this a little bit. Okay, I chased it a little bit, but again, this is not a setup. But I'm just sort of showing you how do I read the cloud. How do I read my clouds? That's where I read them. That's where I'm trying to basically make my trades. But the price action is so choppy that it's even as the averages even out the price action. Look at this. It's completely blowing you up. I mean, NAS has been a nightmare to trade last couple of days because it's just seen. We trade continuation. This has just been a completely discontinuous instrument, and you really have to give it so much room to play it out. And honestly, the only signals on the NAS that have been working are genuine signals. None of this interpretive crap that I'm basically drawn to. And as you can see, what happens is if the price action doesn't confirm, this little beautiful double bottom now is just turned into basically a sell-off. We have to see if this candle can't hold. If I can't get a green candle on this, I am okay. So it's finally coming back a little bit my way. If I can't get a strong green candle on this, Okay, so at least it held back, still kind of holding the support of the cloud. Let's see if I can just pop myself up over here. But none of this is genuinely giving me any kind of a a real trade a real trading signal. I'm still putzing around, and it's still testing the downside here. So all right, let's not torture ourselves with this crap. Let's see if there's anything else on the horizon here. You know what I wanted to look at also is Bit and ETH. Um, now, if we assume that Bitcoin is just like every other currency, so I'm just curious. Let's just look at this. So we got a 50. I'm going to put on a 50-minute chart. So we're going to do the typical New York to New York close, 1700 to 1700. So the high, well, yesterday was the 30th, right? So that would be, so this would be, where are we? Yeah, so 1729. So like right over here. So this is the high of Bitcoin. This is yesterday's high. And what was the low yesterday? I guess this would be yesterday's low. Yeah, yesterday's low would be like this. So we broke the low, obviously, on Bitcoin. Yesterday's low. And then let's just see how that would have traded on the 1-minute chart. So if I'm demarking it. Okay, so this is yesterday's low, right? We really don't have, well, where's trend sell? Oh, we have a lot of trend cells. I'm sorry, they're all hidden. They're all hidden. It's hard to see them. So I have a trend sell. I have a trend sell here. Here's a strong signal. A trend sell underneath yesterday's low really makes it an easy follow trade to the downside, right? Straight down over here. Super easy. A nice clean trade. We're still underneath the low. We have two buy signals underneath the low, kind of a, maybe you could have run this towards the low, but now we're turning back down to sell. So if you get a secondary sell signal, probably going to be a decent sell signal for Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm just going to say that you can trade crypto to the downside just as well, just as easily. So this my little experiment that in this nonsense is not working. We're going to kill this this NAS trade. I don't have any genuine trades. The genuine trades that I had today were the Dow trades. They worked beautifully, right? And everything else was garbage. And I'm actually going to just call them. Like from now on, I'm just going to call every trade that's not a legitimate trade a garbage trade, because I'm just, I'm forcing them because I'm bored and I know you guys want trades. But you can see how bad it is to trade non-setup trades. It doesn't matter if it looks okay, if it's just, if it kind of looks okay. None of this crap works, especially in NASDAQ, which has really been a horrible trade, unless it totally confirms your trade. As a matter of fact, what we're going to look at now, I mean, now that it's just really getting sold off, is we actually genuinely have sell buy sell setup here against yesterday's low, and we want to follow that. I mean, that's the trade we want to look at. By the way, look at Nasdaq and Bitcoin. Jesus, they're like almost in sync here. Let me put this back to the ES. So I'm waiting for one last signal, if I can get it, which would be a trend sell signal out of Nasdaq. which would be a legitimate signal. If I can get it in the next 5 minutes, great. If I can't get it, then we're not, then we'll just be done for the day today. See, we tested. This is yesterday's low. You can actually see on the charts here. We tested yesterday's low. Now we're just breaking right through it. I'm gonna hang with you guys for like 5, 10 more minutes. If I get a signal, we'll take it. If we don't, then we'll wrap up. Filtered in the indicator means that we're only taking trades on the right side of the blue line. The blue line is the 200 SMA. That means if price is below, if the signals only take positive signals above the blue line, only take negative signals below the blue line. It keeps us on the right side of the trend. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't have any explanation for the moves in the Dow. Oh, I'm getting a trend sell. Okay, let me see if I can. How much time do I have? 15, 20 seconds. Let me see if I get a trend sell here. I'm waiting for. Okay, I'm in at 17. Okay. Now, one of the I was gonna say one of the unfortunate things about this is that when you have such a deep sell-off and you're so far away from the moving average, and this is the reason that makes Nasdaq such a torturous trade, is that you could genuinely be correct. Like this honestly could fall really hard, but because it's such a big bounce back, it could run all the way up here, run through, and then come back and correct. And you almost, like with Nasdaq, you almost really have to kind of scale into a position to give yourself genuine opportunity. So I just scaled in a little bit more and averaged myself out to around 21. So I'm going to just modify here this way. Where's my thing? And see if I can take it from my average, which is 40, 80. We'll see if that works, but it may run me through again. Okay. Because Nasdaq is notorious for making V-shaped bottoms and then coming back down. So you kind of have to anticipate the fact that yeah, you're gonna be stuffed on this thing for a while, and only if this was a false break to the downside, if they're really going to press it down, are you going to be 100% wrong? But it's if there is an issue, the only time I would ever consider a scale up trade is when you're so deep away from the moving averages, and again you have to do it in size that's appropriate to you. Then maybe only then you got to give yourself so much room. But now we have to see whether they can press it back, because the other thing is they can press it back basically maybe about halfway here, because the real short is somewhere like around this area here, which is like 27 to 17. So our first entry should be the take profit target, actually, if you kind of look at how the price structure works here. Uh, Karen is saying, can you remember when the NASDAQ was sell, not just sell, please, and just sold the Dow on Prax account, got plus 10? Okay, good for you. So NAS is continuing to V-shape me here, and I'm gonna have to stay patient with the trade. But I like, unfortunately, I'm running into I'm already like an hour and a half into this thing. I'm gonna stay with you guys for one more minute, but everybody is already texting me. I gotta go into meetings, so I can't really watch this. I'll update you guys on Tuesday, because we're not even gonna have a session on Monday.
Boris, it's Keith.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
So since we have to have two brokers in the US, when you switch over to your Forex chart, do you have like that broker up on a whole separate screen, or how do you do it?
Yeah. I actually have like a whole different computer for my actually, honestly, no, to be honest with you, Keith, because FX is just so much slower market, I place all my trades on my phone. Like I look at the chart, but I have my MT4 on my phone, and I trace it. I just place them off my phone.
Okay, awesome. And I asked you a question. I had to take a phone call. Did you answer like what broker you use for crypto or Bitcoin?
No, I don't. We don't use anybody for crypto Bitcoin. We this is. I'm just looking at it right now. We are definitely we're going to move in that direction.
Okay, excellent. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Sure, no problem. All right, still, it's starting to move my way, but it's still putzing around, and I gotta. What time is it? 27. I really gotta go, guys. This really sucks. Okay, I'll keep you updated. I'll keep everybody updated in the chat room as to whether this thing finally crashes. Come on, get down, you little biatch. But you see how NAS is a real. You got to fight your way in NASDAQ all time. It's just it can be a real beast to corral. And it's still there's just so much two-way price action here right now that this trade may not work for me. But the only reason why this wasn't a great trade, even though it was a great setup, was just because it was so deeply, it sold so hard into the move, right? And that's not anything you can programmatically. It's something that it becomes a matter of art rather than science, right? That's where you kind of have to say, okay, this is so deeply oversold, I got to do small size and just try to see if I can scale up into the position, or I'm just going to pass up on it because it's so deeply oversold. Sometimes the deep oversell really works in your favor, but sometimes what I'm saying to you is that sometimes you can be right and still wrong, not because structurally you're wrong about the direction, but just because the direction was so grossly oversold. And this could be the case. Anyways, I got to go, guys. I'm sorry. I'll see everybody on Tuesday. I'll see everybody in Trading Battle tomorrow. Okay, take care.